Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Sang's Emporium. This is my first video, my ever first video. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm hoping that it'll be okay. Welcome to my channel. I hope you like what I'm about to show you. Mainly plants, mainly cacti, succulents, anything green, anything with leaves really. I've had a lot of inspiration to do this video. I've been thinking about it for quite some time. I've been really inspired by my friend Olga from Olga's Dreamland, which you really need to check out. She's absolutely fabulous over in Greece. And also Lynn from Desert Plants of Avalon, also a fabulous channel. You must check them out. They're really great and they're really good for advice and really good support. I've also recently found a channel, Danielle Tells, and she's absolutely great as well. So enjoy. Anyway, we'll get straight into it. I'm not very good with plant names, so if I get any of them wrong, please do put me right and let me know. Okay, enjoy. So we're going to be in the lounge first of all, and I'll just start by telling you what I'm actually doing here. It's a philodendron Brazil stroke pothos. I'm not quite sure which one it is actually, but it's variegated. And what I've actually done, I'll show you the mother plant in a second, but I've actually took some cuttings from it because it's really, really long and cascading, and I want to actually put some of the cuttings in the bathroom and a couple of other rooms in the house. So I've actually took some cuttings and coiled them in a jug of water. And if whether you can see, and it was from Danielle Tells actually, mentioned that if you coil them and put them in water and let them root and then actually put them in a pot of soil, they will grow all the way around the pot, making quite a bushy growth. So I'm actually just trying that for the first time. Also, some of the same sort of thing really in my trifle dish. I've done exactly the same, so you'll see that they are submerged. The roots are actually submerged in water, the stems, and the leaves I've tried to keep out of the water as much as possible. So I'm hoping that will work. We'll just see. I've only done that today. The other jug I did a couple of days ago, so I'll let you know in the next video how that pans out. Okay, over here, that is the, sorry about the backlight there. That is the actual mother plant, and you'll see it's actually got some really nice foliage, lots of variegation there as well. And it just grows like crazy. I water it every few days at the moment, as in the UK we're getting so much heat at the moment, warm weather and lots of sunshine. So it's growing really, really well. I'm just trying to show you the colour as opposed to the backlight. So it's growing really nicely. Okay, over here, unfortunately I can't tell you what that plant is, but I just love it because it's got tiny little leaves. As you can see, they're really, really small and really cute actually. It's really lush. It was nearly dead. I bought it in B&Q for £1, and I thought I might try and revive it because of the few strands that I did see. I really fell in love with it. And I've left it outside, watered it every couple of days, partial shade, and there's been a lot of new growth in there really. So it has sort of come back to life really. Just repotted it in just normal potting soil, and it seems to have taken off. Oh, that's better, bit of focus there. Okay, so as a Haworthia, I found that at a show that we went to a couple of weeks ago. Bought that there. Same with this little one here. I'm assuming that's Haworthia as well, but I'm not sure what kind, I'm afraid. And then there were some African violets that we bought at the show as well. They were, again, nearly dying. but I brought them home, repotted them, and they were actually quite bleached. You can see from that leaf there, they were, the whole plant, both of the plants were that colour. But since bringing them back and then putting them here on this side, away from full sort of sunlight, they seem to be regaining the colour, and I'm really chuffed with it. I'm really happy with that. Here I have an aloe longis styler. You can see it's gone a bit crisp on the sides. It's had quite a bit of sunshine in this room. Again, recently we've been getting so much hot weather. So I've had to move it about a little bit, but it is growing. It has been repotted as well. And you can see there is some good new growth there, which is great. Another Haworthia, I'm not sure which one. Be really happy if you could write to me and just let me know what do you think it is. Couple of brown tips. I think that's just from the sunlight, but hope that'll. It is growing. I can see lots of new growth on there. I mean, that's grown since we brought it. So then I saw a little mini leaf pelargonium, part of the geranium family, which I really like. Love the variegation on it. I thought that was great. So I repotted that, and it's giving off tiny little flowers, and yeah, quite happy with that. Can't remember the name of this one. Graptopetalum, is it, or Graptovaria? One of the Graptos anyway. But I just love the shape and the colour on there, and the texture. That was in 5 or 6 different pots, tiny little cuttings. So I just put them all in one pot, really. I love the pot. I love the pots as much as I do the plants, really. I have a passion for both, I think. So down here we have the umbrella plant, which again was reduced, and I've just sort of put it in some potting mix, and it was very sparse on the top, but it has actually got some new growth coming through, which is great. Okay, this is our little archway into the conservatory, and what I'm hoping to do here is actually continue to grow the philodendron Brazil. And again, I'm sorry about the backlight, but I'm hoping to have it grow up that pole and across, and hopefully that will look quite nice, a bit of foliage around the doors. Okay, here I have a peace lily, quite a big one. I'm struggling really where to put it, because I tend to find that if I put it anywhere near a very big window, it seems to struggle. It doesn't seem to like a lot of light. I know it seems to like low light rooms, but again, it's bleached some of the leaves recently because of the sunshine. So I'm hoping in this little alcove here, away from direct sunlight, it might actually do a little bit better. There is some new growth in there, I think, somewhere, but I'll keep you posted how that's going. Okay, I picked up a gorgeous Aeonium. There's a bit of controversy on Facebook when I put pictures of it. People were trying to establish what variety it was, and I'm not sure, to be honest. Different people gave me different opinions, so I know it's an Aeonium, but if you know what variety it is, I'd be really grateful if you could let me know. This was a succulent I picked up at the show. Really loved it. Tiny little rosettes, and it's flowered a lot since we've brought it home. So I'm hoping that's going to put out lots of new growth. Put it in my little pot in my macrame hanger. So I'm hoping that will grow and cascade down. It should look quite nice. And then I found this shell pot hanger, which I really fell in love with. It was in a charity shop, actually. I seem to pick up some really nice old-fashioned hangers and pots and things in charity shops, and they're relatively cheap as well, which is really good. Here I have a monkey's tail plant. which I bought from Cactus UK, the shop online, and the guy there, I think his name's Ralph, very kindly sent me the biggest one that he had. But it has put out an awful lot of new growth since I've had it. I have actually been hanging it out in full sun most of the days for maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, and it seems to be really thriving in that. You'll notice that there's lots of new growth along here. It was a lot smaller when I purchased it, but it's taking off, which is really, really good. I'm really chuffed with that. Let me know what you think. Okay, here I have a little orchid plant. Again, it was £1 in B&Q, but it was dying. I've brought it home and I've put it in just basically a vase of water. I have a real issue with putting orchids in pots with compost, because obviously they come from rainforests. They don't grow in pots. They grow out in the world, clinging to trees, and the roots spread towards the water source. And I feel that I've always been a lot more successful with orchids in water than I have with them compacted in soil, which I don't think is right, really. So the roots are looking a lot greener actually since I've put it in that. I'm just hoping it'll flourish a little bit, which will be good. Okay, over here we have my donkey's tail, which a dear friend of mine gave me a couple of very small cuttings a couple of years ago, and you can see it's grown really, really well. It loves it, full sun. I was a bit dubious putting it here at first, thinking, oh, I hope it doesn't shrivel up and dry, but I kept an eye on it and it's done really, really well. See, there's lots and lots of new growth, and I swear every leaf that drops off I put back in the pot and it just seems to grow lots and lots of new babies. And it's fabulous to watch. I love it. So yeah, really happy with that. Let me know what you think. I've also took some cuttings off that plant just to level it off a bit at the bottom, because it was really quite haphazard. And what I've done is I've popped the cuttings in a pot, left it for 3 or 4 days, and then watered it and put all the loose leaves that fell off on the top. And you can see they too are showing some signs of roots. Here I have a mammillaria. Sorry about the backlight again. And you can see it's going to flower anytime soon. I can't wait for that to flower. And all the other little buds on there just shows it's going to explode, hopefully, into lots of flowers. And there's a couple of little babies growing there too, which I'm really happy about. Here I have I have to say it really carefully, peanut cactus. It comes out a bit wrong sometimes. It's got lots and lots of flowers. It's had a lot of flowers anyway, and I've noticed lots of those tiny flowers where they were are now turning into new babies. So you can see there. Quite chuffed with that. I'm hoping it fills that pot, which a couple of reliable sources have told me that they will literally just take over any plant pot that you put them in. So I'm hoping in maybe a year or so I'll be able to give some cuttings away. If you're interested, let me know. I'll add you to the list. Here I have a couple of echeverias which are flowering. These actually I did grow from leaves as well, propagated leaves a few years ago, so I've had quite a few new plants from the leaves. And when I do my next video on the greenhouse, I'll show you my little propagation station, as I call it, and show you how the leaves are actually growing. I've got literally hundreds of them growing new plants, so that will be in my next video. Okay, here's a cacti. I'm not sure what kind this is, unfortunately, but I have seen lots of bright bits on the tips of them, so I'm hoping it's going to either burst into flower or do something anyway. Here I have either a Christmas cactus or an Easter cactus. I can never seem to tell the difference really. If you know what the difference is between the two, I'd love you to tell me, because they all honestly look so similar, it's quite confusing. This one hasn't flowered yet. This one has flowered numerous times. I've had it for about 3 years now, and it is growing. It's really quite wild. I've had a few issues with mealybugs on it, so I have to every couple of days just keep looking at it and just checking closely under all the leaves that it's not become infested again. And I think the best treatment that's worked is either isopropyl rubbing alcohol, or I've used a mixture that a lady told me about on the Facebook cacti and succulent group, to use a mixture of bicarbonate of soda, washing up liquid, and what was the other one? Oil, sunflower or olive oil. Make a mixture in a spray bottle and just douse the whole plant, and do it for 3 or 4 days if you need to. It doesn't harm the plant, but it does get rid of the mealybugs. So if you ever have an infestation, I think it's worth knowing that. Here I have a tiger, I think it's a Haworthia, I don't think it's an aloe, growing. Had that from a tiny little cutting, and that's growing really nicely, so I'm quite chuffed with that. A Cereus blue, which is my pride and joy. I absolutely love it. I love the lines of little spines that come down. I just think it looks really amazing. Got that with my little Mexican man who's sitting watch over it, or sleeping over it. And there's another miniature one there next to it, which isn't, it's more green, that one, and that one's quite a bit bluer. And I've had this one for a couple of years now, which is a mixture of cacti. I'm not sure which ones they are, to be honest. I'm really dreadful with names, but do let me know. This one's grown quite a bit. It was a lot smaller than that. Here I have another orchid in full water culture. I did take it out last week because it was really hot and the water had gone quite green within a couple of days. So I took it out of water altogether for maybe a day, let them dry off a little bit, and then put them back in rainwater, and it seems to love it. I mean, it's got a new leaf growing there. Unfortunately, some of the blooms are going over, but as soon as they do go over, I tend to just cut the stem right back as low as possible, so that the energy is focused actually on the leaves and not the stalks, and that just encourages new growth. This is a cutting from Tenerife, which my darling son brought back for me from holiday, because he knows how crazy I am about succulents and cacti, and it is huge. If you look at it next to the donkey's tail, you'll see that it is quite chunky. So I let that callus over for a few days and then popped it in some potting mix, and hopefully it will take off just like the donkey's tail. He also got me this really cute little cactus, and it says Tenerife on it, and it seems to have quite a lot of pink flowers coming through, so I'm hoping it's going to flower for me. That'll be really great. Bless him, he always thinks of me when he's on holiday, which is fab. Got an Emporium here. Bit floppy though at the moment, so I've had to stand it up with skewers both sides. I want it to grow upright, so it'll probably be okay. It's been like that for a few weeks now. Again, you have to be really careful though, don't you, when you're touching these, because the spikes are horrendous. Once they get in, you have a nightmare trying to get them out. Here I have what I call a burro's tail, to differentiate it from the donkey's tail. I'm not sure what the botanical name is, but please let me know if you know what it is. It's got quite a lot of new growth there, new roots. It's grown quite a bit from when from when I first had it. It was really small. I probably had a stem about that tall in the middle. So it's done well. Here is a epiphyllum, which I repotted, and it's had quite a bit of new growth on there. So I'm hoping that fills out and crawls down. Here is my string of pearls. I've had a bit of an infestation with mealybugs on there recently, so I'm hoping it's not going to damage it too much. I have sprayed it with the mixture that I mentioned earlier. It's such a beautiful plant. If it starts deteriorating, I'm going to be gutted, because I do just love it to bits. And it's a nightmare trying to get the mealybugs out of there, because they get buried literally under all this beautiful foliage, in between all the pearls. So I'm hoping it's got rid of the problem and it's going to just continue growing. We'll see. I'll probably take some cuttings off it actually whilst it's still thriving, just to make sure I've got some cactus there. I'm not sure which one it is, but I love it. Got quite a few new babies growing on it. I bought a Portulacaria afra, or elephant bush, off the internet, and it's a variegated one as opposed to the bog standard green. So I'm hoping that's going to grow quite nicely. Here we have another Christmas or Easter cactus, not sure which one it is, but I'm sure you'll let me know. Okay, just going to go through to the kitchen. And here's my kitchen window. Sorry about the lighting again, guys. Another cactus there. And a puntia, which was from a cutting. That seems to be taking off. It's a shame about the lighting, because it really is quite beautiful to look at. A succulent. I don't know if it's part of the Grapto family or... not sure about that one, but it's pretty anyway. This is the fairy tale cactus, which I'm just totally in love with. I hope it grows. I'd love it to be really tall and really lush. And then this is a cereus, I believe, which I bought from a gentleman online. Yeah, so I'm hoping that'll grow. And here I have some couple of cuttings in water of a plant that one of my friends gave me. So I'm not sure whether it'll root. I can't actually see any nodes on there, but I'm hoping it'll take off. Okay, I'm going to do a few more videos yet. I should be doing one on my carport, because it's just full of all kinds of weird and wonderful plants, cacti, succulents, house plants, garden plants, any plants. I shall also be doing one on my greenhouse, which is a 10 by 6 foot greenhouse and full of cacti and succulents. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry if I drabbled on too long. I hope you enjoyed my plants with me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Okay, bye now.